passports ama tuende kwa zile ofisi, the relevant offices that are supposed to issue those services or the documents. And then talking of 8th, we are looking forward to making it a big day. And so far, I've not had enough plans towards it. Just kando na kumention kwamba it is there, but we really need some good mobilization, especially from the grassroots. From where I am, yeah, it is business as usual. People have gone back to their comforts, and it's also worrying. And now that Ruto pia ameshapanda juu ya gari, now it's gonna be a bit tough for us, but lucky enough for most of us who are still energized to carry on with the movement, we shall do our best to deliver. To finish, IDs, what to echo passports, ama tuende kwa zile ofisi, the relevant offices, what that are this man, the captain Ibrahim Traore, that are supposed to issue those one day services or the documents. And then talking of 8th, we are looking forward to making it a big day. And so far, I've not had enough plans towards it. Just kando na kumention kwamba it is there, but we really need some good mobilization, especially from the grassroots. From where I am, yeah, it is business as usual. People have gone back to their comforts, and it's also worrying. And now that Ruto pia ameshapanda juu ya gari, now it's gonna be a bit tough for us, but lucky enough for most of us who are still energized to carry on with the movement, we shall do our best to deliver. To finish, want to echo what this man, the captain Ibrahim Traore, said one day. If you're about to give up, remember why you started. Let that be our energy going forward. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Muna. We could have a quick one. Ian. Ian. The Hunters.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the space, and thank you, Hilary. I want to say first that this country still we are battling on lies and politics of deceit, and we actually need to do something very seriously and urgently. It is illogical to hear that the president is taking over maybe 100 million to go and pay self-help groups. And the question comes, what is the source of the money? All of a sudden, when the finance bill was rejected, and so we don't have a source of revenue for now in the country where the revenue is spilling from, and that there is a procedure in government where the government has got a clear outline on the expenditures of public money. So I was actually amused yesterday and amazed at the same time to listen to Ruto while in Mombasa saying he has gone over with 600 million shillings to go and buy out the loyalty of the people of Mombasa in different groups. Number two, I'm really a frustrated Kenyan citizen hearing that the president has indicated that he will be able to, the government of Kenya will be paying the air ticket for any other citizen who is traveling out of the country to go and work abroad. Number three, I'm also frustrated to hear that the president carelessly is saying that today he has shortened the period of getting the passports. And the question really, all these three issues I'm raising, the question is really, are these the fundamentals of liberation of the country? Are these is this what we are really trying to work out for, so that we can be able to have a just country, a stable country in terms of our economy, a stable country in terms of our social well-being, a stable country in terms of our political stand in the country? Is this really the platform, or is this exactly what can make our country to be independent and also to be able to execute the peace and cohesiveness in the country? And so going forward, I'm just believing that Ruto, in few days, I said, when Ruto will be able to reorganize himself and bring together his all lies, he will start dealing with Kenyans squarely as he has started. Our aspiration under the agitation of the GNC is that we have a country that runs in accordance with the law and the constitution. The agitation of the GNC and the Kenyans is that we have a country that has, or that always works and also rotates around the doctrines and principles of leadership and governance. And so that we can be able to transit this country from both the political, socio-economic collapse. It is devastating for all the Kenyans today to listen to ourselves discussing about a passport, whereas there are no opportunities for our people to go and work in abroad. And the question then begs, is it that when the passports are out, we are going to have Kenyans moving en masse to abroad to seek for employment? And then the question also begs, now, when the president, a full-grown man, who knows that creating the economic stability of his country is first by creating a ground, a stable ground for economic production of various issues, including manufacturing and agriculture industries, and creating actually employment opportunities, so that now he can be able to lure other countries and other investors from abroad to come and invest in the country to raise, one, the per capita income and our GDP. So I was thinking in my own small wisdom that we could be talking about what are these principles and values should be looked into before we discuss about the self-help groups. We talk about the passports and visas and employment in abroad. Because today we have more than 10 million youth who have graduated and they don't have employment. And the Kenyan government is actually trying to connive with other countries to actually transport our labor, our skills, whereas we are supposed to utilize our skills in this country for the good of development of our country, for the good of growth of our country. Now, going to the next step, my good friends, my sister said we need to have a revolution, we need to have a movement and not a political party. Yes, for us to win this race and this political competition and to remove the hooliganism in this country, we need to be very intently, very carefully organized by having a very serious movement which has got the structures in terms of a political party that designs and establishes a strategy and an ideology to rehabilitate, to change, to revolutionize the thinking and also transit this country to the greater heights of prosperity. And so, for us, there is completely nothing we can discuss today if we are not an organized entity, and if we don't have a political platform so that we can be able to ride on it, and so that we can be able to have these opportunities and show these beggars that indeed it is not about the age, but it is about the passion that people have within their hearts and their minds, and the knowledge they have acquired in and from the institutions to utilize it to be able to develop our country. So I will wish that we continue with the struggle of liberation and thinking how best do we form a serious political party that has a serious manifestation of what my brother was talking about in terms of revolutions in this, in Africa, so that we can be able to get out of the cocoon of self-embodiment and progression of specific individuals in this country. And lastly, so that I can give out the mic, the issue of Raila Odinga, it is a fallacy to hear Raila Odinga, after agreeing that 4 of his stalwart brigades have been appointed or nominated to be appointed as CSS in this country. Whereas we are asking that ODM has got its own ideology and manifesto, which it is supposed to run so that it can be able to achieve it after it takes office. Now, UDA has got its own manifesto, which it is running. Brothers and sisters, you can believe and you can always go hand in hand with me that the budget 2024-2025 was approved, and it was awaiting for the finance bill to be approved and assented so that it can be able to create a cornerstone, a foundation to generate revenue to support the budget that is already approved. So what is the logic? That the ODM members or politicians who were fronted for the positions of CSS, and especially Mbad, who is going for the position of the CS Treasury. Now the question is, how is this person going to change his mindset to fit in the budget for 2024-2025? Which are these ideas is he going to bring about? Because already the budget which has been approved 2024-2025 is based on the Kenya Kwanza manifesto. I rest my case.
Thank you. Would give Hilale maybe to comment on that, then we can go to the next one.
No, Ari, you know what? Let this thing get out from their chest, and that's why we open these spaces. So, guys, you just share your ideas and the questions you have. The one that we cannot answer, we will answer them through our legal means or legal ways of legal team to make sure that we get the proper answer on the same. Thank you, Ari.
Ari,
Okay,
before you give the mic to the next speaker,
it's okay.
I just want to say this: my brother Hunt, you just highlighted some few fundamental issues that we need to look at, and the reason why you see now the idea of having a political party has been something people are not comfortable with. It's because of the experience that we are experiencing with this politician. Sometimes we are in a stage we are trying to find out what is it that we can be able to do when it comes to political formations in the future. Yes, politics, you cannot live in the absence of politics, because if you need, and you're a citizen and you need services, those services are rendered by the government of the day. The government of the day is put there responsibly by a political process, and therefore we cannot leave these people to give us to render services to us in the future. But right now we are talking about priorities. Ruto must go. We cannot do it through a political party formation. Right now, no. Right now, we are pushing for this government
to know that whatever that they are doing, we must hold them accountable. They have to take responsibility. And once they take the responsibility, they start aligning the systems already which we have in place. The systems are there, but it's only that these systems have been perverted. They don't follow the law. Somebody talked earlier about someone taking credit of not breaking the law. I will give an analogy. If the police flags you down, it's not coming here to congratulate you and give you a good ticket by saying, you know why, I'm stopping you because I want to congratulate you because you have been driving under the law. If you break the law, you must face the consequences. And these leaders, they have broken the law left, right, center. And that is exactly what we are pushing. The systems that we have, those are the laws. Those are the principles that is governing this country. And I do believe, I am one of those people who believe that we may need a political entity, but right now the focus is we are laying the clear foundation of what we want to achieve as a country. There are some countries, man, they don't care about what is going on with the politics because the systems are working. So let us all support, and I think the idea our brother Hunter has already given out will come. But right now, let us focus on what we need to do, and the only focus that we have is 8-8, Tarenane. See how we can be able to move forward. And I'm suggesting that we run the hashtag strength in numbers. Once we have that hashtag to run kabisa strength in numbers, to toke kwa numbers, we will be stronger once we have numbers. We all know that numbers can take us far. Lakini tukiwa nyumbani, wengine wako kwa street na tunataka kuwa support and we are able to join them, I don't think that we can be able to be strong. Sir Henry, go ahead and give
Oh,
somebody.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Masiba. We'll have Matthew, then we can have McDonald, then Wycliffe. Then from there, after McDonald, we'll have some responses. 2 minutes, then we can have Wycliffe. Matthew, good morning. Okay, Wycliffe, McDonald, can you hear?
I can hear you.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, so McDonald, and thank you for the space, Hilary, Sahari, Masimba, and yeah, we have now come to another stage where we have this convo about maybe political parties. We know very well it's a game of tyranny of numbers against government machinery. So one thing that I know about political parties, maybe for now, let us focus on the nane, and after nane, I think now we can because with numbers we can have very organized representation. You know, one thing, political parties kind of provide a structured way to represent diverse ideas and interests and viewpoints in a political system. You know, Kenya is a political system, Kenya itself. So this one I think can make wananchi wanaweza kuwa na kazi rahisi kuaddress concerns zao, sababu so far tukitokea streets inaleta wanajaribu kudivert attention. Kitu ingine ni inasaidia kufanya some simplified choices, sababu wakati tutafika wakati wa elections, you know, voters and political parties, it a simplified decision making process, sababu the ideas will be zitakuwa clear ama choices zao zitakuwa clear. But another thing, you know, political parties zinaleta polarization. You know, polarization ni ile inaleta division, au wana support hii au wana support hii, and vision is something that we cannot envision as Gen Zs. Kitu ingine inaletanga ni see party loyalty over public interest, something that we are seeing na wabunge wetu wenye wenye wanakuwa loyal to their party wanavote yes, and then public interest inataka no. So that's one of the disadvantages of having political parties. Ingine inakuwa ni barrier ya ideas mpya. So I think as we revolutionize, let us look at those and then we can think of a better way yenye sisi kama majenzi tutafanya. As I finish, let us also hiyo grassroots mobilization tuingie vijijini. For instance, myself, I come from Tharaka Nithi, and in Tharaka Nithi a lot has to be done to mobilize, and I know the same case applies to other counties everywhere. So let us devolutionize ndio tukuwe na kazi rahisi ku mobilize, and when this thing becomes national, everyone is charged. Kika, we will do it, we will make it, and this country will become a better place. Thank you, Hilary.
Thank you so much, McDonald. Pigbin, maybe 2 minutes, then we can have Wycliffe and Dr. Ejeo.
Yeah, thank you. I've heard people talking about party. I have said that we need a movement. A party should only be an organ of a movement, but the movement should be beyond a party, because movement brings together people who are beyond even political party affiliations. Party groups us all to be one party-like minded. We need a movement of movements, which is a coalition of movements, and that becomes the revolutionary movement or the Council for the Revolution. That then ensures that whatever party want to work with the movement must subscribe to the movement ideologies. So movement is what dictates the party, not the party dictating the movement. Party alone is only an organ for those who are interested politically to advance the revolutionary principles on political space. But there must be also a movement that must keep into account the party. So the movement then becomes the people's movement that safeguards the people's interest, and the party must toe the line of the movement. That's what you need, what you call the Council for the Revolutionary Warfare. That's what I'm saying. So movement is the mother of everybody else. Party will be one organ. Other things will be, so many organs will come out of that, either foundation, welfare, whatever. But party is not the ultimate. And I've said there are two ways to approach revolution. It's either by bullet or by ballot. The street revolution is bullet revolution. And if we are preparing for bullet revolution, which is the street revolution, you must go back and read the book by Kwame Nkrumah called The Handbook of Revolutionary Warfare. I don't think we are prepared enough to face the street revolution the way we are going. Because no matter how you go with your iPhone, you're meeting a government that is totally prepared with arms to face you. And do you think that is the same way you can approach that government? If we are really going for the street revolution, which is the bullet revolution, we must read the book, The Handbook for Revolutionary Warfare, prepare the same way to face our enemy. We cannot be going with smartphone and Bibles to somebody prepared with a gun and a bullet to shoot you. That can never happen. And no matter how peaceful we have been going to the street, they have always been coming out very hard on us. So let's think about it. If it is the bullet revolution, we must really prepare for bullet revolution. If it is ballot revolution, we must also be adequately prepared for the ballot revolution. But in all aspects, the people must lead any move that it takes. The people must be the center point. We need a vanguard. We need a vanguard party, we need a vanguard movement, and we need a vanguard leaders who should be trusted, vetted, and approved by the movement. The people presenting themselves must be accountable to the movement. And that's why I'm calling upon all organizations, CBOs, whatever you call movement, to come together to create a coalition of movement, the same way political parties come together to create their coalition. Then from there, let's start strategizing moving forward. If you're preparing for the street, we must prepare more than the way we have been preparing every day. Because every day as we prepare to the street, we are just giving our life to them. That is not worth it. Yes, we don't care about losing our life, but we can also not win by just giving our life like that. We must be prepared for any advances that come in. And that's what Malcolm X says. And Jeff Kennedy said it very well, that whoever stops violent, peaceful revolution, whoever makes peaceful revolution impossible, makes violent revolution inevitable. We've been going peacefully, but they are stopping the peaceful revolution for us. Therefore, the violent revolution cannot be avoided at all. So violence is only self-defense. So if the government is violent, we must give violence as a self-defense. But you cannot be putting our chest every day and praying and kneeling when somebody's shooting us every day. If you want to go to the street, as I've said, let's be very tactical enough. But also let's be focused. Let's be item-based. We are not only going for the street, as I've said. 1 week is over. Let's go to seek the passport. Occupy that passport house. We need our passport, as President said, in 1 week time. Let's follow him down. Everything he says, let's push it to that. That's what I thought that I should come in and say on this, in the difference between movement and the party, and why I'm saying the party and movement should relate and how they correlate. The party is not the final bit. The main mother of everything else is the movement. The movement goes beyond the party. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Pickbin. What I've understood is let's change the tactics, because let's change the tactics. Let's go to the people under him. Maybe that's why the pressure will be mounted on. We'll get back to that. Wycliffe, then Dr. Ajo. Also, Barasa and Juma. Barasa and Juma, can you drop your mic maybe? Okay, your network connection is not available. Wycliffe, thank you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I just want to begin by highlighting on like 3 issues. And to begin with, I must say that William Ruto has lost touch with the common Mwananchi. Those who elected him, those he calls hustlers, he has completely lost touch even with the Mama Mboga. And therefore, for William Ruto to make a decision to take ODM members as part of his cabinet, it is a clear indication that this is someone who does not understand the current situation, because the Gen Zs were out for an economic transformation, an economic reformation. Therefore, for William Ruto, now that he couldn't, he wasn't ready to do as the Gen Zs were saying, to bring about economic solutions, he chose to take the route of the political way. Therefore, I must say that even as we push for the Nane, William Ruto has lost it in terms of.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes, you can hear you.
Yeah, so I'm saying that now that William Ruto has taken the political route, he has lost touch with the issues that are being raised, which are issues of transparency and open governance that we've been agitating for. And therefore, I also want to put it clear that the ODM members who have been appointed to the cabinet secretaries, they will not deliver anything. And therefore, that is why this movement is one that is inevitable. The change that we're fighting for is inevitable. Secondly, I want to address the issue of the national unity that he purports to come up with. Indeed, we can all agree that we as Kenyans do not lack peace. We were not lacking unity. All that we've been pushing for is the change of guard and accountability from those in government, those both elective and appointive seats. And therefore, that is why you will find it necessary that we must do whatever it takes that Nane becomes a success. And as most of the speakers have alluded to, I must also concur with them that we need to change tact in terms of the approach we are taking. And that's why I support the formation of a political party, so that we meet them in the political space, because that's what they appear to be united about. You see, both from the those in government and the opposition, once they've united, they think that they are going to override the push for the change that we desire for. And therefore, I really would plead with each one of us that we look for a way of coming up with forming a political party that will be founded on clear ideologies and not the kind of shenanigans we've witnessed from the parties that purport to be democratic, but indeed they are not. Lastly, I want to highlight on the very recent conversation that William Ruto had yesterday in Mombasa. You know, I speak from point of information. I want to say that I have a brother who works in Dubai, and I know how Kenyans have problems who are working in the diaspora, and most of you can bear witness. I also have friends in parts of Qatar, parts of Saudi Arabia, Oman, and even Turkey. I like now in Turkey, I can tell you for a fact that there are Kenyans who have died in diaspora, and the government has done nothing about it. And therefore, for William Ruto to come and lie to us that in 1 week someone will have a passport, they'll have free tickets, that is hot air, and we must reject it in totality. And that's why I want to say that let's come up with ways of ensuring that the Nane Nane is a success. Let's continue to organize for people to come and to travel to Nairobi on that day. And the former speaker who was talked about the way we are approaching this government. If we want this movement to be a success, I would urge that therefore let's think about how best we can approach an armed government, one that is not listening, and even as we try to be peaceful as we normally are, we must ensure that we come up with ways of approaching this struggle going forward. Lastly, I also would urge that at some point it will be necessary for us to have some leaders. We cannot be leaderless forever. For this movement to be a success, let's have a way of coming up with some form of leadership so that whatever issues we have can be addressed in a manner, or maybe can be channeled and cascaded through the ranks, because you realize that as we speak, we have quite a number of X-spaces which work separately, and therefore we sometimes get the confusion because from the kind of spaces that we get, and therefore we need to think of a way of coming up with a unified a space or kind of leadership that will propel this movement going forward. And thank you so much for your time. I appreciate. Viva Nane Nane. Thank you so much.
Viva Nane Nane. Thank you, Wycliffe. Dr. AJ. I don't know. I'm seeing it's like DJ Joe. Dr. Joe. Then we can have a lady.
Thank you so much, Masimba. I just decided to put it like that because I was being traced. So I couldn't use my name anymore. They really tried to trace me everywhere. Now, we need to appreciate the fact that we are living in a country that has a different kind of a clan. The political class that we have are in their own clan. And we should not at any given point, even by 1 inch, think that they will be in a position to deliver to us what we want. Listening government, within 1 month of serious protest and over 100+ lives lost, you could be able to spot or identify serious policies and decisions being made by the top leadership of a country. But that is not coming forth. So what I wanted to bring to us here this morning is to be in a position to enlighten us that we don't have a country anymore. We literally do not have a president. We don't have a working, running system as it should be to serve humanity. As a person who has been in the humanitarian world for a long time, If you see people are being killed and leaders do not take action, it shows you that there is no longer a country, rather an area occupied by civil war and unrest, where leaders are not in a position to understand the common mwananchi and their plea. On that course, then the topic here is 1 week passport, free air ticket. I can tell you for free where I sit. It is a hot air. Don't buy it. Don't take it. Don't swallow it. Don't even roll it down to your annals. It is not making sense. It will not work. It is a passing wind. And I can tell you for free, for a long time, promises have been made. William Ruto has made tremendous promises that if granaries were here in Kenya all over, they would be filled to the brim. But unfortunately, there is no any single action. This issue of passport, free air ticket, I can't swallow it. I can't swallow it. I find myself like, am I living a dream? It is not something existing at all. What we ought to have been told is actually our IDs. We need a system where IDs, instead of this passport free air ticket, oh, what a nonsense. Our IDs are very important. Ruto would have told us that, you know what, from today, from next week, your IDs will be processed within 1 week. No one wants to leave this country. You have heard Wycliffe talking about people dying in Turkey, Dubai, Qatar. Would you really love to leave your country to go and die in another country? You've seen a recent news previously, just a few days ago, of a lady who was put in the house in Saudi Arabia without food for a long time. And I am imagining you being locked in another country in someone's house without food for several days until you go die. No one wants to leave this country. On that note, even as we are heading to Nane Nane, I plead with Mr. Hillary, Masimba, Sir Henry, Amerix, and any other person who in any way can unite Kenyans on this cause. To be in a position, we have to bring this issue of IDs. You've heard Pigmin talking about either ballot or bullet in either two ways. That we can fight a government of this kind, a system of this kind, if the two issues have not been, if the two actions have not been addressed. It is either a bullet or it is a ballot. And that is why I'm calling upon all of us that as we move to the street, we have to move in the right direction. Where is our IDs? Nyayo House. As we move towards State House, let's think of how we can occupy the same way we occupied Parliament. Tufukuze hao watu wote wenye wako hapo Nyayo House, they all have to go. I cannot, where I sit, my mind is blowing up. I cannot imagine where I sit, that there is an illegal office called a first lady and a second lady and a third lady's office, allocated almost 4.3 billion Kenyan money, and yet we don't have a machine that can be able to print IDs for innocent children who are going to universities to be able to access government funding. I can't. There is a way in which my mind cannot fathom anymore which country I'm living in. And that is why I'm calling all of us that the bottom line is, it is the street and the ballot. It is the street and the ballot. And for us to be in a position to ensure that we are right on the ballot is that we first must have a very important tool, national ID. This is an issue that they don't want us to hear. They don't want us to hear totally. That is why he is diverting our attention from our national pride, the ID, to a 1 week passport, free air ticket. What a shame. So moving forward, I want to sound this, Mr. Hillary. Let's find a way on which we can blow up Nyayo House. IDs should be they should be devolved to the constituency level. You go register for your ID. Within a week, you have your national ID. When we move like that, to move, as we are heading to the street, we are also sure that we can easily send these goons home. The other thing I wanted to add as I complete is that as much as we are heading to State House, Kenya is a presidential system, and the president is being provided oversight with the parliament. What we are doing is supposed to be done by members of parliament in the National Assembly. We are not supposed to be going to the street to fight for anything. We have elected members of the National Assembly to represent our interest. Why our children are dying and why we are doing in the street is because the National Assembly, we elected people who cannot be able to even interpret the law that themselves are making. So even as we are moving forward, we have to ensure that anyone living at home in the name of a member of parliament is doing nothing, hakuna haja aende nyumbani. There is no need for that person to even be seen in the village. He has to go back to Nairobi, implement the policies that Kenyans want, and be in a position to provide us feedback that is making sense to all of us. There is a lot of things I would love to say about this government, but that as it may be, let me stop there and then give it to another person because my mind cannot just hold what I'm seeing in this country.
Thank you, Doctor. We shall have Wamboy, that chick. Then I think we can get some responses from Masiba or Pagebin. Then we can move on. Wamboy, you have the mic.
Hello, I hope everyone can hear me. Good morning. I'm so sorry, my voice is a little bit off, but we'll push through. So for me, I have been in these spaces since the beginning. I've been going to the streets, and I'm a very spiritual person, and I definitely look at everything from a spiritual standpoint. And for me, I was praying a lot actually when we started going to Mandamanos, and the message was very clear to me that the biggest quest is for everyone's cells. It's inside ourselves. The biggest weapon for this battle is for you guys to wake up. And the only way to infect or impose the change in this country is when we first win the war within ourselves. So if you have a way to reach deep within and find love for yourself, because that's the answer. Love is the answer. If you can find love within yourself, you can be able to inflict or be able to infect the people around you. So if you have all these people who are policemen around you in your community, is there a way for you to just have that very candid conversation? Don't try to beat them or harm them. Find a way to show them love and give them love in a way that they can see the love within themselves, because that's the key. Love is the answer. When Africa becomes one, the unity of Africa that you can see now being propagated by Kenya, Africa is the way. We are the kings of the world, but we have been made into slaves. And our realization, that thing of knowing, oh my God, I'm actually greater than I have been made to think. This Catholic Church, if you go to Catholic Church and they have that journey of, I don't know what it's called, the journey of the prosecution of Jesus. Mimi, my call to you is to take those images down of white Jesus. Because that's what imprisons our parents, those people in the village who are unable to think beyond religion. We need to have the Pope and those white Jesus journeys taken down, because the altar is where the altar of God, what we call the altar of God, the church, is what is used to castigate against us. And right now, our power is coming from within. God has made sure that the colonizer is naked, and we can see clearly. And I want everyone to cultivate a love culture within themselves. What is it that you do that makes you happy? And the one thing that I think is a little bit unfortunate is that around me, most men don't know what they love. They don't know what makes them happy. They are taught to only do things for other people. You need to find those things that make you happy, those things that you can do for yourself only, especially if you're living inside your house. You need to find that thing that makes you happy and cultivate it. Because let me tell you, you need to recharge your energy. Your energy is your currency, our energy together, because that is what is called unified consciousness. That energy of ours together, of knowing yourself, or of being a king of your mind, that is what we must cultivate within ourselves. As we forge forward, we need ourselves to be fully recharged. Recharge in whatever way you feel. For me, I know what I use to recharge. I go dancing. Dancing is my thing. You know how there's this thing that was said to me some time ago on how we were lied to, that the only way to connect with God is to close your eyes and put your hands together. Or other people told us you need to sit down and have your hands up like the gurus in India. But those gurus, what they have, ours is within movement. It is within song and dance, what our ancestors used to cultivate. And I'm telling you, when the colonizer came to Africa, the first thing he got rid of was that thing of singing. If you read Ngugi wa Thiong'o's book, it said that the first thing they stopped us from doing was singing, especially in Kikuyu, or dancing. If we can find a way to, for you, whatever works for you. For me, I know for a fact that how I raise my vibration, how I heal myself from all the torture of the police. I was arrested myself. And I'm telling you how I've been recharging and facing my demons or the trauma that I am accruing is through dance. Find what works for you. Love yourself. Treasure yourself. Women, men, you must find a way to love yourself. You know, even the Bible somewhere says that you love your neighbor as you love yourself. So it means the love actually starts from you, inside yourself. It is only when you love yourself you're able to fight for another person. If you're not able to love yourself and treat yourself well, you can't have the capacity to love anyone. And that is how actually the world has been in the gutters. Our country has been in the gutters because I'm certain this guy, William Ruto, doesn't even know how to love himself. He's leading from a place of greed. He wants to collect for other people. And what about him? I'm telling you, he's not happy. Happiness comes from within. And I'm telling you, where he's at, he is not happy. He can never be happy. And that thing of ours that people have been killed for this cause, trust me, the blood that has been spilled will not go in vain. And I'm calling everyone, wherever you stand, wherever docket or profession you have done, I don't know, law, you've done IT, you have done dentistry, you have done, which is why I even love how Kenyans are uniting to make people happy. Like all these people that have been going through, even Eric Omondi has been going, looking for them, finding them. We've been changing their lives. And I'm telling you that if this country, let's say, because now there's this naysayers saying, oh, we need a leader, we need a political party. That is not the way. We cannot fight on their terms because that's what they want. They want us to get into their terms. And I'm telling you, inside their terms, they know the rules more than we know the rules. So don't be lied to, don't be cowed. Don't be told that the only way for us to win this war is us having a political party, us having leaders from these political parties. We are not there yet. Every day we are going through life, take a note of all the good that you're seeing around you. Everyone you see that is leading through a just mind, because you know it is here inside the mind that is where everything is. So take a note. When the time comes for leadership, I know there are some of you who are going to be our leaders here. Take a note of them who are able to fight for us, because we need fighters. Moving forward, we are not going to take all these, what do you call them, sycophants, who are not even aware of anything. They don't even read these bills themselves. And yet they are the ones who are sitting in those chairs in parliament, in the Senate. I don't know. We need to figure a way out for us to just continue and go in faith, walk in pride, walk in faith. God is with us. I'm telling you, tunalala, the next day, crazy things have happened. Even when we are sleeping at night, there is an entity that is working on our side. So do not be cowed. Do what you need to do to love yourself and build up. Love your friends around you. Build up. Love your family, even if some of them are not understanding us. Continue to love them, because it is through love that we are able to break the chains of slavery, break the chains of hatred upon us, break the chains of everything. Love is the answer, my guys. Listen to music, culture yourself into a way that you're in a place to give. You know, wanasemanga, an empty cup cannot be able to fill another cup. So fill your cup and be ready for nane nane. I wish you all the best, guys. Have an amazing day.
You know what, that Jik, I'll stand and call you blessed. Thank you for the message of encouragement. I feel I'm energized, and I do hope and I believe that the listeners, everybody in this space, through that kind of submission, we are energized, and we should know exactly what we need to do as Kenyans. And before I say something, I see Tequila 123. Your hand is up. Big Pin, do you have any follow up comment before I give Tequila the mic, and then after I think we'll have Basaino Abi following, and then we can be able to have a follow up comment if we need be. So
Yes.
thank you so much, that chick. Big Pin, go ahead.
Yeah, let me give my final comment before I exit for other things. One is that if all of you can remember the book by Ngugi Thiong'o called Matigari. Matigari came from the forest actually when he lost his properties and went to the forest to fight for the liberation of Africa. And this is the same way we've lost our properties in our homelands and we decided to go to the street to fight for our rights. But even after he won the forest battles, when he came out to the belt of peace, the white belt that he tied himself, seeking for justice and peace. He walked all over the government, including the Minister of Justice, who was employed by the government. But even the Minister of Justice could not tell him where he could find justice. We have in the streets and like the forest, we've lost our brothers and sisters. We are seeking justice. And even the government cannot give us an answer for where we will find the justice. When he realized that peace will not prevail and actually bring back whatever he lost, Matigari went back to the forest where he had left his gun and went to chase his gun. But unfortunately, the government actually shot him before he made keys to his gun. But Kamau, the younger protege, took over the gun and came back to fight. He came peaceful, but the government was never peaceful. When you realize the Mau Mau struggles and negotiations of land, there were two things they were fighting for: freedom and land. But land was the fundamental issue, just the same way all what we are fighting for today is the fundamental underlying issue. But of negotiations from 1945 to 1949 until 1951, they decided to go to the forest when they realized that this could not take a peaceful dialogue to resolve everything else. I think for the last 60 years, we've realized that that cannot work out. Now, when they were in the forest, when they decided to go violent, which means they decided to face the forest the same way you're facing the streets, they decided to make their own protective gears and shield just to protect themselves. They were not arming themselves to kill the white man, but they were wanted to protect themselves because the white man was having guns and wardrobes and even choppers to kill them. I request that if we are going to the street, let's have a protective gear, not a weapon to fight, but how do we protect ourselves better? Even if you have to form a pattern, even if you have to create our homemade shields, the same way the police officers go in the street, their own shields. What can shield them? If you can have those traditional shields that have Kenyan map the same way we do it at local made, so that any tear gas that can be thrown or any gun that can be thrown, you can raise it just to protect yourself. You are not in the street to fight them, but rather to protect yourself to survive. And that cannot be seen as an arm, but a protective gear we must put on. So I accept that we go to the streets. We need to go for the ballot or bullet revolution before we reach the ballot revolution. But please, let's have a protective gear that can protect us in the street. Let's not just go bare-chested and just kill ourselves or shoot or stand before them and they shoot us. That will not do as much good in the revolution. Yes, they say the tree of revolution is watered down by the blood, but not in that way. We must ensure that every precious blood must be protected, and we must find a way on how you as an individual, the same way the police officers leave the camp akiwa na protective gear yake, amejua anaenda kufight mawazimu huko ama anaenda kutufight huko, but anaendanga na shield yake. Let's have our shield. Anymore, smartphone cannot be our shield anymore because they shoot us and the smartphone will not be protecting us. Let's advance ourselves better. But all in all, let's be sincere enough and show the government and the world that we are peaceful and sincere enough pushing for our rights. And if they provoke us to the extent, let's still organize. As I've said, I'm still leaving you the three things. We need to have a pushing, but let's now be targeted. Like if they bring back the offices of those women, whatever they call first lady and the office of BBMW, let's go and occupy those offices and ensure that those offices do not exist at all. So let's have targeted, tactical move forward. But above all, let's embrace and call upon African spirituality. Our spirituality will help us a lot. Our spirituality will protect us a lot. The spirituality of Africa protected the Mau Mau. Let's have true spirituality of Africa, reigning beyond, calling on our ancestors and protection of all our fallen heroes. They will protect us, and sooner or later, we will emerge victorious. Viva, comrades.
Thank you, Big Pin. In fact, I can't say even more. The only thing that we need to do is just make sure that whatever strategy that we are having, numbers count. That is the only shit that we can have. Once we have numbers, I'm telling you, that is the best kind of the protection that we can have. That is the sure insurance that we can have. I just want to have 3 speakers here. Takwila 1, 2, 3, followed by Basaino, and then I will come to you, Dr. Ajo, later. But let me have these 2 in that order, so that we can be able to cover. Actually, Obadia is also waiting.
Yes, I'm Jambo. So my name is I have a name. So I have 2 things to say. So I chose not to go to these maandamanos and I chose to stay at home for the last 1 month. Lakini last week Lily missed 2 bullets. One from that grey Subaru and another one from a plain clothes police officer. Hapa nyumbani nikiendea lunch. Nikijifanya ati nimekuwa safe. So from now on we are joining these maandamanos. So I only have 2 things to say. Title yangu ni flags and banners. We have to have flags and banners. The flag is the Kenyan flag, and the posters and the what, and the banner is Ruto must go or stop killing us and what, and police brutality. So, and the way we will do this is through printing. All of us have printers in our offices, in our houses, and everywhere. Print those posters, and then you go in mzianike, and that's it. I almost died without even fighting for my country. Imagine, at home. So that's all I have to say. Flags and banners.
Thank you, Takwira 1, 2, 3. Basaino, go ahead, and then Dr. Ajo, you will come in a little bit after Basaino. Then I will have Nelly, and then we can go in that order. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Hilary. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to comment on the discussion. We are looking at now how rejuvenated Ruto has become after ODM apparently came in to save the day. The politicians have really regrouped, and now they are in a campaign mode. They have regrouped, and it is now us, the citizens, versus them, the politicians. They have gone to political conservatory mode. Like right now, you cannot see again opposition or government. Actually, all of them. We should be able to now face and drain all of them. Our focus should remain now, like us, the citizens, the 50 million plus versus them. To comment on this issue of passports and air tickets and jobs, what I'm wondering always when Ruto makes these declarations about having gotten jobs abroad, why are they just unilateral and why are they just declarations made in political rallies? Whenever he's on the public space, like in the rally on top of on rooftop of cars, that's when he declares like tumeweka mpango, tumepata these 1,000 people to go there and there. We do not see any other communication, official communication, even from these host countries that purportedly have given us chances for that. If it's German, for example, don't we have a German embassy in Kenya which can corroborate the story, maybe communicate and say, yeah, we have jobs in this and this sector. It's not just a matter of we have jobs, we have gotten jobs out of the country. Which jobs are they? In which sectors? What are the people that are targeted? What's the procedure? Why are we not even seeing them being advertised? These countries that we are being told they are jobs, they are also facing the same challenges of joblessness. How is it easy now that a Kenyan can just wake up one day and then, yeah, poop, you are in Germany or you are in the US or wherever. Ruto, I don't know where he gets these jobs from. Then you go there and you get that job. We are not seeing any communication. We are not seeing, is it official? We don't know which ministries are involved. Is it the Minister of Foreign Affairs? Is it trade? Which jobs are they? So it is a blatant lie as usual. He is just doing that to try to pacify the gullible people who are cheering. You can see people cheering all over. And majority of these people who come to these rallies are mobilized by their enablers. Ruto ensures that the people who are working with him mobilize certain numbers of people to come so that now it's shown that it is popular, like he's popular and all that. He's now back to his reset mode of lying and promising and doing all that because he knows politically now when when you are talking of parties and MPs, ODM and Azimio and Jubilee and all those, they are going to back him up. So he's really now campaigning for 2027. So all the people who have died, all our pressure and all that is not landing to any ears. He's not going to act. There is even say that right now they're mobilizing to ensure the finance bill, some clauses of the finance bill that was rejected is going to be passed by the MPs. And you see, there's no way ODM or any other party in parliament is going to stop Ruto because now they are all in bed together. So if they are going to return all these clauses, so there is nothing like it was rejected. Then Ruto stands, anytime he stands up to speak, he's saying like, I had budgeted to do this, I budgeted for GSS teachers, I budgeted for the interns, I budgeted for development, but you rejected. He did not reject the finance bill because people spoke or the citizens have refused. It was just a ploy to buy time and now for them to regroup. They have regrouped and now they know there is nothing else we can do. So my urge is we continue pressurizing them, we continue registering as voters, taking IDs, we should do everything possible. A revolution cannot be won within a month or a week. We cannot say like we have been defeated, but we should re-strategize. As they are regrouping, we should also be regrouping. Every point, everything that they are doing, we should be able to stand and counteract. If it goes far up to 2027, then we should be very much ready to be able to vote them out. About getting a political party, for now, I don't think it's the solution. You get a political party, then they'll come and bribe the officials. And you see, we will not do anything because we will have given these officials authority to act on our behalf in the name of a political party. So they will also just join that from the ranks of politicians. So we should remain with Article 1 of our Constitution, agitating with our sovereignty, listening, like saying, we gave you the mandate to represent us, but now the representation, you are no longer representing us, so we are going to exercise this authority directly. Because the Constitution says the people shall exercise this authority, sovereignty, either directly or through the elected people. The people who were elected have betrayed us. They regroup in political parties, they vote according to political lines, and always preserve themselves. You see, an LDM MP and a UDA MP earn the same amount of salary. When they are talking about their salaries and everything, it is them. The Wananchi will remain without anything. So we should not relent. That's my contribution.
Brother, thank you, brother. Doc, go ahead in 1 minute, and then we have a lot of speakers lined up. That there is a lot of can see a lot of requests, mic requests.
Brian, will throw you out, man. Mute your mic. You cannot work that way. When you're ready, you will come on the mic. Okay, go ahead, Doctor.
Thank you so much. Now, I just wanted to comment a few things that the previous speakers have
You guys hear me?
have said. I hope we have lawyers here in our space. On the issue of formation of a political party, I have an opinion that for now we need to shelve it. And by the way, we don't even need to form a political party. Rather, what we need is a movement. We just need a movement with a clearly defined structure. And Hilary, I know you have a very good access to Dr. Miguna and a range of civil activists who are having a goal background. We need to know, even as we are discussing this whole issue of forming a movement or coming up with, if in case that happens, because eminently it will happen at the end of the day. We can always not be leaderless and formless throughout. And that is the reason why you see these political sisters and brothers already coming together. But that as it may, I just wanted to maybe have my opinion and this direct to Mr. Hilary. If we can have criteria or requirements, in case any, that can be drafted from now, so that we plan as we move forward, that on what are the requirements or criteria for someone to be in a position to join this movement, in case it has a name later and it has been structured well later. We need to do this because you see, I'm telling you, I'll tell you this 1,000 times, that a politician is just a politician. Whether she's clean, dirty, naked, dressed well, a politician will always just remain a politician. Whether ni Martha Karua, whether ni Okia Omtata, a politician is not an activist. An activist can be a politician, but a politician who is holding a political seat is not an activist. They change their mindset anytime they get into the National Assembly and the Senate. Their mindset changes. They no longer, and that is why you can see we are fighting about mineral deposits, huge mineral deposits in our country, almost panning to 22 point something trillion Kenyan shillings, almost double the debt that our country is being overburdened on. But when they reach in the Senate, in the National Assembly, they don't talk about our mineral deposits. You see, in Migori, there are people, common mwananchi, are actually, using crook systems, extraction systems to, mine gold. And this is something that is being bought by a private company, a private individual who again sell it outside the country at a very high price. And these are things that they forget to address when they are in the parliament. So I was having an opinion, Mr. Hilary, that as we think about forming not a political party, we don't need a political party, a movement, because as someone said, that we either a movement only work with two things. It is either ballot or a bullet. So we need a movement, and also we need criteria in which someone can join. Whether you are a politician, you have to know you are in a movement with the leaders, and you are not a leader as part of the movement, so that they don't infiltrate us and change the systems. The other issue was on this other issue I wanted to reiterate is occupying different parastatals. The only language Ruto understands is protest. And that is why for 1 month, instead of going outside the country, I'm wondering what he was doing, by the way, previously, moving from one country to the other. I'm still wondering up to now. But for 1 month that he has been in State House, he has been there because of protest. That is the language that Ruto can be able to understand. And I was proposing that even as we move in the streets in our millions, tuanguke na one of these ministries, one by one, having clear agenda and addressing the agendas to them, giving them time for implementation until they implement. Because right now, when we tell Ruto, as a medic, women are suffering. Linda Mama used to assist so many women, to get reproductive health services. Bring it, and we don't give him timeline. It is not going to work. We need him out of State House, but as we also need him out of State House, we will also have to occupy and cause havoc in the different capillaries, ministerial capillaries working under him down here. Yani, we attack everywhere. That is what I mean. You attack State House and you attack watoto wake huku chini, with clear agenda until something happen. And that is why I was saying the first stop, bullet and ballot, the first stop is at Nyayo House. We can cause a serious lack of movement, and even people don't get into Nyayo House for almost 1 week until Bitok and the rest be in a position to understand that ID is is our right enshrined in the Constitution, and it is something. It is just a paper, so it can be printed, and the billions that are being wasted in illegal offices can actually be used to buy the printers and devolve ID nini. So I was having an opinion that we need to attack everywhere. We need to attack the ministries, the parastatals, those ones that are not working, until if we notice that something is not working right, and by the way, the system is broken completely, we need to be in a position to be able to, as we attack him, we also need to attack his children down here. Then on the issue of public debts, mimi sijui kwa nini Kenya haina pesa, yet we have minerals. If you are a member of parliament and you are in this space, please, we are already coming for you, because we cannot understand
Daktari, I want you to summarize.
Why?
I want you to summarize so that you can come back later. I have
All right, thank you. Let me.
I don't know whether
let me summarize.
I don't know whether you can do that.
Yeah, I think on the issue of public debts, it's a big topic. I will discuss that later. I think the issue of civic education also we need to give to our parents, and I'm proposing that we can always tend to need the spaces also in radio stations as well as TV stations, so that our voices can be heard by our parents and everyone we are living with. Thank you so much, Masimba.
Thank you, Daktari. I'm sorry for taking away the mic, and we just want to have inclusive kind of a talk, and then you'll come later, and because you're one of the speaker who can respond. This is how we are going to do. Samuel, I can see your hand up. Ken, I can see your hand up, but I just want to go straight to Della, then followed by Byron. Byron, please, can you mute your mic? Kindly. Thank you. Then we go to Nelly, all right? And then Carizon. And then after that, then I will give you another lineup for the speakers. Kindly let us share the mic. By doing so, we are going to cover everybody who is requesting for the mic or is ready to speak. Go ahead, Del.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I hope you can get me clearly. Now, what we've seen in President's rejuvenated mode, I think the president is using a lot of our taxpayers' money. If one of us was yesterday watching the whatever he was holding in Mombasa, you could clearly see that the people who are behind William Samoei Ruto, those people were sycophants of Ruto. Those people could clap, even Ruto laughing. That is not a way of us to communicate. A gentleman yesterday asked Ruto that if he knows what we really want, then he comes to give us these stupid talks. He listened to us about the finance bill, he dropped it. What about the fuel levy that was in the finance bill, but now it is enacted and it is going on and it is taking our money, reflecting on fuel pumps. So these air tickets and passports that we are being given, this man is just using these tactics of taking Genz away from this country. He wants us to be less and less so that when we go to a mandamano, we become less effective. This is why this man is giving us free passports. Where has it ever happened that a passport is being given for free in 1 week? Where? And right now we are talking about our IDs. They cannot give us IDs for a week. Right now, that money that is channeling to an air ticket, he can channel that money to give us IDs on time for free. We do not need IDs to expire. Why do they need this a lot of money from us? Why do they need 1,000 for us to have an ID? Why do they need us to go back and re-register these IDs and make them? It's like subscription of being a citizen in this country. First of all, for me to be a citizen in this country, by birth, I'm a citizen of this country. In fact, these issues of ID, we cannot be compared to Uganda. We are not Ugandans. We are not that slow. We are Kenyans. We don't do IDs. Next, Daktari talked about we needed a structure to do something. I want to respond to Daktari that, Daktari, we do not need any structure. We have never closed the doors of any person, be it a boomer, be it a whoever, be it old people. We have never closed a door for them to join us. We are open. This is an open movement. If they want to join us, they join us. And it is voluntary. It is a voluntary structure, a thing that anyone can join us. We do not need any structure or any. In fact, I saw someone went to the register of political parties to recognize us as a party. We are not a party. In fact, that man, I scrapped that man, that bullshit, and let that man go back home and go and plant maize. We do not need to be a political party. We cannot be compromised. We are the way we are, leaderless, faceless, and tribeless. I want to tell us something. We are going to have an Anenane movement. I was in a space yesterday, the Citizens Assembly. We had a lot of conversation, meaningful conversation. And we are telling this, if we are going to rely on media, Daktari, I'm still working on your point. If we are going to rely on media, you saw how media was trying to shut Kasmuel just the day before yesterday. You saw it. The media has been pocketed. These people have gone into bed with the government. These people will not let us to voice out our concerns adequately. You saw that panel. That was a rogue panel. That in fact, that lady, I don't know where she came from. I've never seen her with a smiling face like a cartoon. And then it's making our boy struggle even to explain little things that we understand even without her answering, questioning her. So when we are talking about the media, the mainstream media, Citizen TV, NTV, very useless places, let us not rely on those people. They are in bed right now with the government, and they are literally doing what the government wants. So what we do, let us focus on these online spaces, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Let us focus on Telegram, WhatsApp. Those are things that we are supposed to focus on. have everything. We, in fact, as we have an angle coverage, a wide angle coverage. We are even covering things that the mainstream media is not covering. So when I'm talking about this, Hillary, let us have a way that we can bring people on board on these social media platforms so that they can see the reality on the ground. Hillary, I was in Kisumu when Aero was being blocked. People were being shot. I've never seen stupid policemen like those ones. Those ones are goons. In fact, that lady on the platform of Kasumu Citizen asked if the people are being killed, we go report to the police. And then when the police kill us, we go report them where? To the IPOA. The IPOA that is not functional. That body should be scrapped away and taken somewhere else. And I want to submit to us that if the police cannot be accountable for what they are doing, we are coming with bottles and phones and flags and firimbis to the streets, and they are responding by killing us. That who kills by a sword shall be killed by a sword. Why are we sugarcoating these things? Why are we sugarcoating these things, Hillary? If they are killing us with guns, we will deal with them. Because even if we go to the IPOA, nothing will be done. Right now, it is 1 month down the line. Our people, Rex, was shot dead. You saw Boniface Mwangi, the activist, being taken away for no reason and being charged by a bail. Those are the kind of things we are supposed to talk about. Let us not divert our attention into talking about political parties, structures. What structures are we talking about? We have not gained anything. We shut down the finance bill. What is happening in the closed doors? Now, who knows? So what we need to know and what we need to make people clearly understand is, first of all, we have not achieved what we wanted. We were talking about a fight on corruption. We were talking about accountability in the government. We were talking about arrest of killer cops and justice. Have we seen any of that? Have we seen any corruption case in court? We have not. Have we seen an audit of our national odious debt? We have unlawful debt that we are not even able to pay. We can only pay an interest to these debts. So that means we are going to be serving these debts for our entire life, and we are still going on to take these debts. You saw our paying debt capacity is 70% of our revenue. 70% of our revenue goes to debt. We are only remaining with 30%. This 30% is going to recurrent expenditure, Ilari. When we are having this kind of situation, that means development is only dependent to debt. That means in the near future, in fact, in the next financial year, we are going to see a lot of odious debts again, unlawful debts. So we are living in a country where we are surviving on debts, and these debts we will never repay them. We are only paying interests, and these interests we are paying them in trillions. So I want us to refocus, to go back to where we started. We started by talking about accountability. We started to talk about policies. We started to talk about justice, judicial justice. The rule of obedience to the rule of law. We saw the president was appointing a committee to go and conduct a forensic audit on our public debt. Yet we have an institution that is mandated by the constitution to conduct that process. What happened to the office of Margaret Nyakango? We need an audit that is being conducted by an institution that has been identified by the constitution. We need that. Let us go back and talk about the real points. I've heard people talking in these spaces. I've been there, very present. People are talking about a lot of things that are not even making sense. People are talking about structures. People are talking about leaders. Why do we need leaders? We need to go back to the policies. Talk about structures. Let us talk about meaningful things. Let us talk about corruption. Let us talk about justice. Let us talk about debt. Let us talk about inclusivity, not tribal inclusivity. I'm a Luo. I'm not even happy about Mbadi being appointed. What happened to the people, to other people? I'm not even happy. I'm not happy about Opio and I. You had Nurukanga. That man said, sometimes we take them like as jokers. Those people have points. Nurukanga said, we are 30 years having a degree. Heard that John Mbadi was nominated to be a CS. And then you are clapping.
Did we lose Dele? I don't know whether we lost him.
Yeah, we lost him. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it will come back. It will come back. This is the order of the day. Let me say this. Samuel, I can see your hand up. Keep it up. Okay. I just want to go straight to Byron, then Nelly. Can we keep it 2 minutes so that we can go around the cycle? Then we can come back to you, please. 2 minutes so that we can cover. Even other speakers can have time also to contribute. I know this is Monday, right?
No
People
problem.
are going to do their own business, or we're going to work anyway. So keep it 2 minutes.
Fine.
Byron,
Fine.
go ahead.
Good morning to my fellow Kenyans.
Morning, sir.
Are you hearing me? Are you getting
Yes,
me?
very clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
So mine is this way. To our Kenyans and to the politicians, according to how they are, because I can see the behaviors. We are not fighting as Genz for others to gain in the political government. We have narcissist leaders whereby they are just for their self-gain interest. Yani they work for their self-gain interest. The narcissist. So we are not doing this because our people are dead, but some are enjoying and clapping their hands for people who have been nominated as yes, Akinambadi, who talks for stupidity on that day about Orengo. Orengo have been a revolutionist for some years. He should respect Orengo. He should not talk like a barking dog or small dog, whoever wants milk from the mother but cannot even fetch where the milk comes from. This is kind of nitwit stupidity. We can say what now we can do is just to get out Ruto in the state house. That is it. Nothing. Because nothing you can see. How can he talk about 1 week passport free air ticket? What is that? And the fellow children, the same who want to be given free air ticket, are crying for their IDs. They have not even get since they applied. What kind of this stupidity this man talking about? Free air ticket. This is a kind of track. You want us to go out so that we remain free, the way Della said, so that we can remain few, so that when we go to the protest or when we occupy, we can not be able to harm him or do anything. So this we will not allow. 1 week passport free air ticket. That cannot allow. We first want the ID issue to be sorted out. Is when the passport can be given, because these things are just kind of stupidity. In Yani, we cannot understand how the government is, because they are working towards the government carry jokers. We protest for corruption. We protest for change. We protest for brutality because our people are being killed, and you find some people talking in media there is no abduction. Like on Saturday, someone talking on Citizen TV that there is no abduction, and we see on the medias there is abduction. Even people can see the fellow journalists themselves, they are being abducted. Our people are being abducted. They are taken to different places. Some died in inquiry, found in inquiry, and people talking in media that there is no abduction. How kind of government? Because even the medias that have been pocketed, they have been already called in the state around this what they call the bed. They've been sat down and given something. So there is nothing. This government, they carry narcissist people and they carry corrupt people. So a politician should not be this way, because they come down on the floor to find the votes, to fight for their people, so that their people can enjoy, not to make their people to suffer. But now they are making their people to suffer by now people are dead. You see the ODM party, people are being nominated and people collapse. Some people have been doing job for 30 years, do 15 MP, governor 10, and still people collapse when he's being nominated. People like Wycliffe Oparanya or Pio Wandai. Why can't these people do just a favor to make their mind change, or to have wisdom, like people who are learned to rule this county as they are learned people, because this is kind of nitwit. We cannot tolerate this and we cannot condemn. Our action is
get Ruto out by occupying him and his family, not even only Ruto, the government all. Sijui Gachagua, people sijui saying that Raila, you heard him saying that sijui when Ruto go, the Gachagua will take. No, we want his government to go whole. Sijui is threatening people by sijui handing over his government to which we want the government to go home. Even the deputies, the CS, and we do the refresh election. Nothing like that. Sijui Gachagua will take position. And thank you.
Thank you, Byron.
Thank you,
Byron.
Mr. Hillary.
Neri, you can take away the
Thank
mic.
you.
Yeah. Thank you, Neri. Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary. Thank you
Hello.
for
Byron, please kindly mute your mic so that Neri can take the
Thank you, Masiba. I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you mute your mic?
Thank you, Hillary. Thank you for this time, and I greet you all in the name of our forefathers. First of all, I'm very, very agitated. I feel like I just want to fight. I don't know how. I'm having high blood pressure. I don't know. I'm understanding that in our country or in any other country, we have the youth. The youth are the one who are supposed to stick it up and make the country work. But you know what? Ruto wants us to go outside there. We go outside there, we're going to face brutality. We're going to face every other sort of thing. People in whatever, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, whatever, these people rarely get the best life they would want to have. Watu wanakufa, jua inawachoma, people end up having no houses to live on, they live on the streets. I mean, and what this guy wants us to do is get out of this country so that the country can be weak. Our parents will not have nothing to say or even tell them anything. Why? Because hao washaambiwa Mungu ndio kila kitu. If we say this ni juu ya jina la Yesu, and then we go that way. So our parents will not have anything to say. Our men, our fathers will go outside there to waende, they're going to face other brutalities outside there, and the government is going to do whatever they want to do in our own country. Wakisema tunaenda south. They tell our grandies we are going this way. And then after that, what do we have for our country? What do we have for our country if all our youths are going outside there instead of this guy creating spaces, creating jobs in our own country? In Amanisha, our country is not going ahead. Instead, tunarudi nyuma, and tunarudi nyuma even more, 100 more steps. I want to understand this Adani thing. We don't have lawyers who are supposed to file a case against them. I mean, airport yetu inaenda hivyo. We are seated. We don't have nothing to say about it. They are going to import workers from all over, the Filipinos, the Indians, to come and work in our country. People are going outside there to be wakue mboches. They're going to be security people. This is our men. But wengine wanakuja in our country to have it a soft life. Our airport is supposed to be the best thing that we have in terms of imports and exports. We have minerals that are going to go outside the airport. Do you know how? Because these people have grounded us. Watachukua kila kitu, wapeleke outside Kenya without anyone knowing. Where are we going? Where are we going as a country? Why don't our lawyers come up and mushikane nyinyi wote? Let's do something for our airport. These people are going to mine everything. Wanajaribu kupeleka watu waende nje, and then so that they can have all their time to mine and export our minerals outside with what? With our airport. What the fuck is going on? I mean, I'm just so agitated. Let me rest.
Thank you, Nelly. Um, I can understand your frustration, but I think we are headed in the right direction in making sure that these people must take responsibility and be accountable. I just want to give Carison and then Samuel. Carison, take the mic, and then Samuel. Carison. Okay, then Samuel, can you take the mic?
Yes, I can. Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Yes, go
Thank
ahead.
you. First of all, I want all of us here think of a moment when you lost someone. When did someone die that you loved so much? When you felt your heart was really broken. Can you remember that? Eh? That pain you felt, that pain that even today when you see the grave of your brother, of your friend, of your sister, of your mother, of your father, you feel that pain. That is the pain over 250 families in Kenya are feeling of the people that have been killed. Do not be cheated that it is 50,000. Go and ask Githurai massacre how many people died there. Stop this propaganda the government is trying to spread. William Ruto is a murderer who have murdered many of our people, of our children. And me seeing people going to celebrate him, it is something that really breaks my heart. We are on a fight to fight a murderer, a criminal, a person who is responsible for many deaths. Is this where we have reached as a nation, that someone can kill as many people as he wants and get on a car to go back to campaigning as if everything is normal? If William Ruto, and if he's hearing, because I know that he's CIA or whatever he has in here, those spies, go and tell your fucking boss this. If he is not a murderer, let him prosecute those police who shot those people, because they are known. A person who shot Masai is out there. A person who fired live bullets on the protesters is out there. He can prosecute them, but he cannot because he's a murderer and a coward. He's not a man enough, because man enough do not kill people. Man enough defend, kings defend themselves with facts. If you are really a king and you know you have done the right thing, you have nothing to worry about. And the people of Mombasa, why the fuck would you go to listen to that guy? Who bewitched you? How could you go to sit on that hall to listen to a man who have killed people? A man who is killing Kenyans who are going to ask for a good governance. Kwani nyinyi mliattend hiyo meeting? What is wrong with you guys? What is wrong with you? Eh? This is a man who is taking our country behind. This man represents everything we want to get rid of in our country. Dictatorial regimes, eh? Tribalism, and let me tell people here, speaking your mother tongue is not tribalism. Speaking your mother tongue is not tribalism. Tribalism is refusing to give a Luo job just a Kikuyu is there. Tribalism is refusing to give a Kalenjin a job, to give a Maasai job because there is another tribe over there. Speaking our language is not a tribe, is not tribal. Tribal is this thing that has been perpetuated by the government, making sure that they hire their own tribe to the government. This hierarchy must end. And these people, even after they leave office, do not tell us to forgive and forget. What the fuck? Our people are dying of hunger. Me, I didn't even attend high school in Kenya. If I never went to the United States, by God's grace, I could have never completed high school just because of I could not have gotten a free education. What kind of country are we living in, really? That our children must go abroad to get what they are worth, and yet when they go there, they're not even paid what they are worth. Because I know my time is very short, I do not want to kukosea Masimba and Hillary. This thing, 1 week passport and free air ticket, that is a trap. Do not dare to take that. Brain drain is real. Brain drain in a manishanga, it means most educated and most qualified people are taken from their country to grow other countries. Countries like Japan, where their population is so old, they cannot fucking sustain themselves. Now our people are the ones going to be slaves. We cannot live like that. Go and take a passport. A passport is as good as ID, even more powerful. Okay? So go and get, if you do not have it, go and get it for free, but do not leave the country. Do not dare to leave the country. Hillary, I was not able to deliver my message on the podcast, on the space for you with my best friend, Dr. Miguna, and I believe really we will ever change Kenya when Mother Karua will be president and Miguna vice president, and Mother Karua should support that. We need to have people like those in our country, people who do not spare anybody, people who live by the book. That is what we want in our country. Please, me finishing Masimba, make sure you give a freedom fighter. I just realized here. There's a freedom fighter called Stella Nyanzi. She's from Uganda. She's an ex-prisoner. Please make sure you give her a chance so we can also learn, because their country is also going the same thing. Thank you so much. And fellow Kenyans, Nane, do not forget. If you can host people in Nairobi, host them. Host them. Because we will make sure that this government that we have fired is not leaving office. We will make sure it leaves. Have a good day, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
Austin, hi
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Samuel. I just want to give the mic to Dot Lines. Can you take the mic and then do it quick so that we can share the mic, please, kindly.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Before I give my points, I'd just like to refute something that has just been said by the previous speaker. It's interesting. It's interesting that he's in the US. I'm in Nairobi. I've been in all those demonstrations. Gentlemen, we did not go to those streets to campaign for Martha Karua. Tafadhali, stop bringing those things into these conversations. Nor are we here to campaign for Miguna. We have bigger problems. Stop playing with us politics of personality. That's not why we went to the streets. That is not why people are dying. That kind of talk will destroy this movement. Stop it. Now let us then move on to what I wanted to say. The first thing that I'd like to say is that if you realize right now we are hearing politicians led particularly by Raila Odinga saying we need a dialogue, we need to go back to Bomas so that we can be able to change the constitution again. I'd like to tell you that every time we have a problem in this country, we're either asked to change our laws or to form commissions and write reports. We've had the Kriegler report, TJRC report. The handshake produced the BBI. There isn't, Mo even did a devil worship report, a Kiwumi report on land clashes. We had the Waki report after the 2007 clashes where so many people died. And then when we had demonstrations in 2023, we got the NADCO report. Have those reports changed anything in this country? No. We are not changing a comma on the constitution that we made in 2010. We are not going into a referendum. We have one of the best, most progressive constitutions in this world. The only thing is, it's not being implemented by politicians who want to scat it, who want to scat issues. Because right now, we are asking for bread and butter issues. People are just saying, don't overtax us. Give us passports and IDs so that we can open bank accounts and apply for loans. Bring down interest rates. Stop asking us to pay fake debts and the rest. You don't need to change the constitution for that. You simply need to act and work. Then I also have another problem with our movement. We are full of emotions. And now I'm starting to see people bringing us diversionary things. Let's make Martha Karua president and Miguna vice president. Useless talk. Now, what I want to say is this, that we have a future. First of all, I'll just be open. Martha Karua, we saw Martha Karua. Those are the people who brought us the problems that we have here. That same Martha Karua, when Kibaki was president, she was part of the group that killed the NAC dream. We remember the tribalism that came into the Kibaki government. I was here. We saw that tribalism. We saw the rigging that happened in 2007. It was Martha Karua who was arguing that everything was okay. What unleashed those killings? Now, I'll say
I think if we are not politics, we should stick on them because I didn't get time to defend myself.
Yes.
Samuel,